Hi guys, I welcome all of you on the class of accounting for goods and service tax. So this is an accounting focused class, right? Who all can benefit from this class is basically class 11th and 12th students who are doing BCom, MCom, CA Foundation, all can benefit. But this course is completely focused on accounting for 11th standard, but a lot of practical problems and applications which will help you uh, prepare well for your 11th standard as well as for higher education, and even for it is good for working professionals, aspiring professionals, and entry level CA, CMA, CS students also, right? So let's start. These are the learning objectives. We will understand what is the meaning of GST, what is the objective of GST, characteristics, categories, leeway, and all the accounting. Okay. Now, what is GST? Basically, it is goods and service tax, right? It's a comprehensive indirect tax, which is which is levied on all the goods and services rendered. Okay. So previous to GST, what used to happen, there were multiple taxes like excise, VAT, service tax, so on and so forth. A lot of local taxes also. So now what government has done few years back is they have come up with a single tax regime, which is goods and service tax, right? And which replaces all indirect taxes. So GST is also called as indirect tax. So it replaces all the indirect tax, right? Which is excise, VAT, service tax, and some local taxes. But GST is not applicable on petroleum product, alcohol for human consumption, customs, and taxes which are levied by local bodies like municipal taxation, property tax, etc., are not covered under GST, right? When we do a comprehensive study of GST, there will be a lot of nitty-gritties where it is applicable, not applicable, but this course is focused on accounting related to GST, right? It covers all the goods and services except above, and except above there is a long list also, right? But majorly these are exceptions for goods and service tax, right? Now, what is the objective of goods and service tax, right? This can be a question, theoretical question, which can come in the examination, right? So with an objective, if you have heard this term, one nation, one taxation scheme, because different states were having different kind of taxation before GST regime. So to bring in one nation, one taxation scheme, this GST has come into force, right? It has reduced the cascading effect. Okay. So there is no tax on taxation. There is no, so there is a single tax on value addition. We will talk about it as we progress more. Ease of doing business, because there is a single tax registration, single tax authority. So you will have to deal with minimum people, and hence it will bring in ease of doing business. Simplification of compliance of indirect taxation, right? Better and effective indirect tax management, because the filing etc is very streamlined. There are few filings which you have to do during a month or quarter or yearly, and which have to be done for all the businesses together. So it brings in a lot of transparency and effective tax management, right? Because we are removing multiple tax barriers, and you have to lesser understand about the taxation of each state. So it attracts the foreign direct investments, because foreign investors need simplified laws which they can understand easily, right? With all these efforts, it will increase, it is having an objective of increasing or uplifting our GDP, right? And with GST coming in, now you will see a lot of cash economy which was existing is getting eliminated slowly, right? So this is what objectives of GST are. Okay. We will come to this, but let's move to the application of GST. So first we have to understand that GST actually is levied on two bases, right? One, there is a intra-state supply and there is a interstate supply. So first, let's understand that GST is a consumption-based tax, right? So in case a person is supplying goods within the state, right? Within the state, like somebody manufacturing in Mumbai is supplying to Pune, and vice versa. Pune manufacturer supplying to Mumbai, it will be a intra-state sales, right? It will be a intra-state sales. And on intra-state sales, there will be two things which will be charged. One is CGST, right? Which is Central Goods and Service Tax, and SGST, which is State Goods and Service Tax, right? And then there will be IGST. Okay, IGST is all in the cases where goods are sold from one state to another. For example, goods are supplied from Maharashtra to MP or vice versa. Somebody sitting in MP is supplying goods in Maharashtra, right? So there are two type of sales and there are three terminologies which we have studied, which is CGST, SGST. So CGST and SGST will be charged in the case of intra-state supply, and one single tax, which is IGST, will be charged when there is an interstate supply. So what happens, let's say you are selling mobile phone, which is in one example, which is uh, from Mumbai to Pune, you are manufacturing mobile phone and selling from Mumbai to Pune. And the GST on mobile phone is 12%. So if it is an intra-state supply, what you will charge? You will charge two things. One is CGST and other is SGST. So CGST will be 6% and SGST will be 6%, making total GST as 12%, right? And in the case of interstate supply, you will charge IGST, which will be 12%. Right? Let's say a manufacturer in Maharashtra selling the same mobile phone to Madhya Pradesh, instead of charging CGST and SGST, he will now charge IGST, but you see the total leeway remains the same, that is 12%. Okay. So what do we understand? GST has two regimes. One, sale within the same state, and sale outside the state, means to other state, which is interstate, right? So when you are selling within the same state, you will have CGST and SGST, CGST and SGST. And when you sell interstate, you will charge IGST, right? Now, right? So now applicability of registration, right? Who will all have to get registered under GST regime is any person who is supplying, selling goods or service in interstate supply. Let's say we took the example of MP and Maharashtra. So even if you are doing a supply or business of 1 rupee, you will have to get registered under GST Act, right? However, if you are selling goods within the state, then you will be you will have to register based on certain threshold, which is for non-hilly area. There is a definition for hilly area, right? Non-hilly area, goods where turnover is more than 40 lakhs and services where turnover is more than 20 lakhs. So you will have to register. So again, to simplify, in case of intra-state sales, that means within the state, if you are only dealing in goods and your turnover is more than 40 lakhs, then you have to get yourself registered under GST. However, in the case of services, that is 20 lakh rupees, right? There is a separate, if your state falls in hilly areas, then the threshold is lower, which is Goods, if your turnover is more than 20 lakhs, you have to register. And services, if your turnover is more than 10 lakhs, then you have to register. There is a defined hilly areas in the GST Act. Okay. Now coming to interstate supplies, hilly, non-hilly, whatever, even if your turnover is 1 rupee, that means even a single transaction is there outside the state, then you will have to get registered under GST, right? There are certain rates of GST, which is 5 slabs, 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%, right? 28 essential items like milk, fruits, vegetables, there is zero GST. Common used goods like edible oil, packed foods, etc. is 5%. Processed foods, footwears, etc., which are of common use, is 12%. Consumer durables like services, all services come under 18%. Mobile phone purchases, electronic item purchases comes under 18%. And all luxury items are 28%. So costly hotels, costly cars, etc. will fall under 28%. For us right now to understand, there are 5 different slabs of GST. Very recently, the government is coming up with an objective of uh, collapsing these rates. So there will be fewer rates. That means five. They are trying to eliminate some of these slabs from the GST and making it 3 rates basically. But that is under consideration. In September 25, we will get to know the final thing. But from academic purpose for 11th standard, you should understand that there are 5 rates of GST. Okay, let's move forward. So now